Hello everyone, welcome to Law Simple and Pure. I'm your host Dr. Vaishali, and in today's lecture we are going to learn lecture number 1 in Hindu law, and that is who is Hindu, or what is the nature and scope of Hindu law. As you know, we are supposed to cover certain points in our discussion. So point number 1 is introduction. Point number 2 is who is Hindu as per the old definition. Point number 3 is who is Hindu as per the new definition or existing law in India. Next point is who is not Hindu. After that, we'll cover certain case laws relating to conversion or relating to religious practices, and then we will conclude. So we are going to cover following points. So while writing your answer, please make sure to cover following points. So without wasting further time, let us begin. Okay, before I begin, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. It is for all the law students, for CLAT students, for LLB, for LLM, for JMFC and for LawNet students. After subscribing to my channel, you will get current information about all the law subjects and all the new law lectures. So stay tuned. Now introduction. Number 1, Hindu law is a divine law. Divine law means a law which is made by God, okay, or by a divine power. So Hindu law has its origin in divine law. Second point, Hindu law is a part of personal law. In India, personal law is there to regulate personal affairs of different religious communities. For Hindus, Hindu law is there. For Muslim people, there is a Muslim law. For Christians, Christian law is there. For Parsis, Parsi law is there. And there is one secular law, that is General Marriage Act, which is applicable to intercaste marriages. So in India, different laws are applicable to people from different religious communities. Marriage, succession, adoption, maintenance, divorce, these types of matters get regulated by personal laws. Now, in case of Hindu law, okay, it is modified to a great extent after independence. So after independence, Hindu law is codified. Earlier it was there in the form of customs, but after independence, a large part of Hindu law is codified. Codified means it has given a shape of law, okay, it has sections. So that law is codified. So Hindu Marriage Act is codified, Hindu Adoption and Succession Act is modified, Maintenance Act is modified. So all these acts are modified and codified after the independence. Point number 2, who is Hindu as per the old meaning. Okay, earlier meaning was territorial or geographical, means it has to do something with territory or geography. Word Hindu is derived from word Sindhu. Okay, Sindhu was a river. So people who used to stay near Sindhu river, they were called Hindus. Okay, so Sindhu river is also called as Indus river. Okay, river Indus, and that's why these people were also called as Indians. Indus civilization or Sindhu Sanskriti जिसे हम बोलते हैं. So the word Hindu is derived from word Sindhu. So people who lived near the Sindhu river, they have common culture, they have common traditions, and they were called as Hindus. After some years, Persians started calling Indians, Greeks and Persian, as Hindus. So people who stayed in that area, they were called Hindu. Now you know the old meaning of word Hindu. Hindu means which is derived, the word is derived from word Sindhu. People who used to live near Sindhu river, they were called Hindus. Now you know the old meaning of Hindu, and that was given on the basis of geography or territory. New meaning is given on the basis of religion, and it is provided in Hindu Marriage Act 1955. From the definition, I got these points. So all these categories are called Hindu in India. So let us learn them one by one. Category number 1, Hindu by religion or by birth. So if you are born in a Hindu family or your parents are Hindus, then you will be called as a Hindu. So who are Hindus by birth or by religion? Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists. So if you are born in a Jain family or in a Buddhist family or in a Sikh family, you will be treated as Hindu and you will get regulated by Hindu law. Okay, so in India, though Jains and Sikhs and Buddhists, they consider themselves as a different religion. Okay, still they are regulated under Hindu law. So who are Hindus? Who are Hindus by birth or by religion, and who are they? Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists. Second meaning of Hindu, who are not Muslims, Christians, Parsis or Jews. So first definition is positive type of definition, which includes Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists. Second definition is a negative type of definition, which excludes Muslims, Christians, Parsis or Jews. So if you are born in India or if you are staying in India and you are not Muslim, Christian, Parsi or Jew, then you will be treated as a Hindu. Again, some exceptions are there. Point number 3, if your domicile is in India and if you don't know your religion, okay, so if your domicile is in India, lots of people, they stay in India and they have a domicile in India, they are refugees or some other people who are staying in India for centuries or for generations, okay, those people, if they have their domicile in India and they are not Muslims, Christians, Parsis or Jews, then they are again called as Hindus. Point number 4, converts or reconverts to Hinduism. So if a person, okay, from other religion, from Christian or from Jew or from Parsi religion, if that person gets converted to Hinduism, he will be treated under Hindu law. Or a reconvert to Hinduism, if a person goes out of Hinduism and he gets converted into some other religion, and if he comes back to Hindu religion, then again he will be treated as a Hindu. So converts and reconverts to Hinduism are called Hindus. Next point, who practice Hinduism. For example, husband is Hindu and wife is Christian, but after a divorce, wife is raising up a son like Hindu, then that son will be called as a Hindu because his upbringing is done in Hindu style. So who practices Hinduism will be also called as Hindu. Next, people from Brahmo, Prarthana, Arya Samaj, Veershaiva Samaj or Lingayat people, they are also called as Hindus in India. So people from Brahmo Samaj, okay, though they consider themselves as non-Hindus, but for the sake of law point or for the legal convenience, they are treated as Hindus. So from the legal perspective, people from Brahmo, Prarthana, Arya Samaj, okay, people from Veershaiva group or Lingayat people, they are also treated as Hindus or they are treated under Hindu law. Okay, so these many people are treated as Hindus under Hindu law. And what are they? Number 1, Hindus, Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists are Hindus. Number 2, people living in India, okay, and who are not Muslim, Christian, Parsis or Jews, they are Hindus. Number 3, people who have their domicile in India and they are not Muslim, Christian, Parsis and Jews, they are Hindus. Number 4, converts and reconverts to Hinduism are Hindus. Number 5, who practices Hinduism, okay, in their day-to-day practice or who follow Hinduism are also called as Hindus. And number 6, people from Brahmo, Prarthana, Arya Samaj, Veershaiva Samaj and Lingayat people, they are also treated as Hindus in India. So definition of Hindu is wide enough. So cover these 6 points and explain them one by one. Now you know who is Hindu as per the Indian law. Now let us understand to whom Hindu law does not apply. So there are some cases in which Hindu law is not applicable. Case number 1, illegitimate child. And 2 cases are covered under this. If a father is Hindu and mother is Christian and the kid is brought up as per the Christian religion, then in that case, that kid will not be called as a Hindu kid. Second case, if father is Hindu and if mother is Muslim, okay, and the kid is brought up as a Muslim, then again in that case Hindu law is not applicable. So even if parents are, either of the parent is non-Hindu but the kid is not raised as a Hindu, then that kid will be not be called as a Hindu and Hindu law is not applicable to that kid. Number 2, who are converted to Muslim, Christian, Parsi or Jews. So if a Hindu person is converted to some other religion, okay, if Hindu person is converted to Sikh religion, then he will be called as a Hindu. If a Hindu person is converted to Jain, Buddhist or Sikh religion, okay, then again that person will be called as a Hindu. If a Hindu person is converted to Lingayat religion or Veershaiva religion, or he goes and accepts Brahmo Samaj religion, then again he will be treated as a Hindu. Then when he will not be treated as a Hindu? When he accepts Muslim religion or Christian religion or Parsi religion or Jew religion, okay. So if out of these 4, if any one religion is accepted by a Hindu, he will not be treated as a Hindu and he will not be treated under Hindu law. Point number 3, who don't follow Hinduism or a person who leaves Hinduism, he stops following Hindu principles or Hindu religions, Hindu religion and he declares, then Hindu law is not applicable to that person. So now you know in which cases or to whom Hindu law is applicable and in which cases Hindu law is not applicable. Now we will cover certain case laws under this chapter. Let us see certain case laws relating to our chapter. Case law number 1 is Shastri versus Muldas. In this case, Supreme Court clearly provided the definition of Hindu or expressed it. In the case law, in Ahmedabad, Swaminarayan temple is managed by a group of people called Satsangi. Okay, so there is a group of people called Satsangi who manage the internal affairs of Swaminarayan temple. Okay, Satsangis provided that only Satsangis can enter the temple and non-Satsangis, which they termed as people belonging to other caste, which were termed as Harijans, they cannot enter into a temple. In this case, Supreme Court provided that everyone can enter into the temple, and Satsangi is not a different religion, but it is a Hindu religion, and Harijans are part of a Hindu religion. Supreme Court clearly provided that Satsangis, Arya Samaj, Brahmo Samaj, Veer Shaiva Samaj, Radhe Krishna, these type of religious communities, they are a part of Hindu religion and they will get governed by Hindu law. So everyone who comes under the term Hindu has a right to enter into the temple. Next case law is, it relates to conversion, Perumal versus Ponnuswamy. Here Perumal is a father and Ponnuswamy is his son. So Perumal got married to a Christian woman and they got a son called Ponnuswamy. Okay, after certain years they got a divorce. Even after divorce, wife of Perumal, though she was Christian, she used to stay as per the Hindu religion and she raised Ponnuswamy as per Hindu religion. So Ponnuswamy followed all the Hindu customs and rituals, so he was raised as Hindu. So when he asked for property from Perumal, Perumal took a defense that I will not give any property to Ponnuswamy because he is a son from a Christian mother and he is a Christian, so he will not get regulated by Hindu law. But court provided that since Ponnuswamy is raised as per Hindu religion and culture, he is Hindu and he has a right to get his father's property. Now you know everything about question number 1, who is Hindu or what is the nature and scope of Hindu law. So in India, Hindu is a person who is born as a Hindu or as defined by the Hindu Marriage Act, as we discussed earlier. Then first cover introduction, okay. Hindu law is a part of personal law and everything which we discussed. Second point which we are going to cover is old meaning of Hindu, then new meaning of Hindu as per Hindu Marriage Act, then who is Hindu, who is not Hindu, then these case laws, and then we will conclude. So that's it for the day. Stay tuned till my next lecture. Goodbye and good luck.